Hey guys, I just want to go through some extra programs that I use quite a bit when I do these videos. One of them is Paint, which is, comes on every computer under accessories. And what I use it for is, I actually don't use it for this, but I could resize the image. Now, if you recall, this is the large video image that I used on the eBoard site. And what if I want to shrink this image down? Well, I could do it this way. I could click Image, and under this I could resize it. And if I click resize, now the only thing I don't like about this is it doesn't give the exact pixels. So let's say I want this like pretty small. Let's say 75% of what it was. So I'm just going to change that to 75%. Well, I got to change both of them because I want to keep it fairly square. That was what it was, or whatever shape it was. I want to keep it even. And now I shrunk it down. That's one way. I prefer to do what I use Paint for most of the time is if I want to do a screen capture. Now, screen captures are good if you're doing the walkthroughs. So here's how I do a screen capture. So I'm going to open up. So here's my Google. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to click Print Screen, which is the button on the computer next to F12, Print Screen. And nothing happens. Well, something did happen. You just don't notice. Now, if I go here, I go File, New. I don't want to save this. And I can right click, or let's say File, what do we got? Edit, Paste. And that's the screen that's behind this. So now I just screen captured. So now what I could do is if I want, I can just take, whatever part that we're working on. So let's say, like I'm talking about, all right, let's just look at the the top here, the more button or something. So you go over here to the select, and I can just copy part of it. I can just copy this part, and just copy, and then I would go to File, New again. Don't save that. Edit, Paste, and it just gives me that part that I really wanted. So that's what I use Paint for mostly, is for doing these when I'm making my images. And I just save this and I paste it into like a Word document when I'm typing up like a flow chart of what to do. Now, if I actually want to change the image size of something, I actually use Photoshop. So let me just open up Photoshop, and this is the same image, and it puts it on this this background grid, and it's like translucent. And so this is the file name, it's video PNG, and this is the full size, and it's pretty big. It fills up. So to change this, it's pretty easy actually. So I go to Image, and if you want to change, there's a whole bunch of things you can do with this. You can change the levels. I can make it lighter, darker, can flip the colors, all this other stuff. But what I really care about is this thing called image size. Now this thing is 600 by 555 pixels. So that's pretty large. So what I want to do is I want to change this down. And I said before it was like 100 is good. This little image here is locking. So what that means is it's going to keep it proportional. So you want to keep that locked. So now if I change the top one, it'll change the bottom one automatically. And this is how come when we saw earlier when I put the image, it was 100 by 93 because it changed it automatically. And I just click OK, and it changes it. That's the exact size I want. Where before when we used Paint, it was all kind of weird and everything. So now the only thing is when you start working with Photoshop, you have to be careful because over here it'll start doing different layers, and you'd have to like flatten the layers, flatten the image, which I just did. Notice I got rid of that transparency thing, so now it's all one layer. And you got a file, and I'm going to save it. Now you got to be careful. No, it's still saving as PNG, where if it had other layers and stuff, it would have been a Photoshop image. We call it PS image, and so you have to be careful. And now I can just change this to video small, which I've already done, so I'm not going to rename it. So you just change it right there. So what other programs might be helpful? Programs for presentations are going to be helpful for what we're doing here. Most of the time, I'm going to be honest, I just use Smartboard. It's the easiest. It's very versatile. I love Smartboard. or I use PowerPoint because that's a lot of files come in PowerPoint also. But then there's Prezi. We've seen demonstrations of this. You can do Prezi. It takes a lot of work though to make a really nice presentation, but you might find presentations. So I just went on to Prezi. He has a presentation already. This one's about social media. It's on the front board. And you can think about this. If you're recording, you would just zoom in on this part, right? Your screen using your thing. And down here, you'd be clicking the arrows and you would never see it on the presentation. And actually we can, that would look nice. And you wouldn't even see it on your presentation. And then your voiceover to describe what's going on, and the students could follow it when they're watching it. So that's pretty much most of the programs I use. There's other ones, like I said before. I use DaFont to get different fonts if you're into fonts. I use, that's pretty much it. I'll actually have a list of different programs and their websites that you can hit up as a PDF attached to this file. So that's it. Thanks.